Level 1, the rookie cop, the smell of stale beer, copper, and cheap carpets. That is your new reality. You just graduated from the police academy, a shiny badge pinned to your chest, fully believing you are going to save the world. You are assigned to the worst district in the city. For the first 2 years, your entire life is responding to overdoses, domestic violence calls, and petty thefts. You see the agonizing end result of the drug trade on the streets every single night. You arrest street-level users and low-level corner boys, throwing them in the back of your cruiser. But the adrenaline quickly fades into profound frustration. You realize you aren't stopping the poison. You are just mowing the lawn. The grass always grows back. To actually kill the weeds, you realize you need to go after the root. And to do that, you have to take off the uniform. Level 2, the decoy. Your first taste of the shadows. You trade your blues for plain clothes, a dirty hoodie and scuffed sneakers. You are now a decoy. Your job is to stand on a freezing street corner, heart pounding against your ribs, waiting to buy a few dime bags from a dealer you've never met. The terror is real, but it is heavily controlled. Underneath your shirt is a wire taped directly to your chest, itching your skin. A heavily armed tactical team is sitting in an unmarked van exactly 1 block away, listening to your every word. You make the buy, give the code word, and the van screeches around the corner. The dealer is on the pavement in seconds. It is a massive adrenaline rush, but at the end of the shift, you still get to peel off the wire, put your badge back on, and go home to your family. It's dangerous, but it isn't deep. Level 3, the CI handler. You stop chasing the addicts and start owning them. You are promoted to a detective unit, and your new job is recruiting confidential informants, CIs. And you learn that the criminal underworld operates exactly like international espionage. It runs entirely on secrets, leverage, and betrayal. You study the psychology of manipulation and persuasion to convince criminals to turn on their own blood. You learn the 4 universal human motivations: money, ideology, coercion, and ego. You realize everyone on the street fits into one of these categories, and your job is to figure out which one and aggressively exploit it. You promise reduced jail time or hand over envelopes of cash to desperate people. You are starting to get very comfortable operating in the gray area, and the higher-ups are taking notice. Level 4, the deep-cover applicant. The feds come knocking. A joint task force invites you to a quiet, windowless room. They are looking for a new ghost. The psychological screening is excruciatingly intense. They don't just want to know if you are brave, they want to know if you can shed your own identity. A man in a gray suit asks you deeply invasive questions to build a profile and look for lies. Then comes the polygraph test, where sensors are strapped to your chest and fingers to monitor your heart rate. They need to know if you can lie convincingly to absolutely anyone, including yourself. They need to know if you can compartmentalize, if you can do terrible things to maintain your cover and then go home like nothing happened. You pass. You prove you have the mental fortitude to completely erase your moral compass for the sake of the mission. Level 5, the legend initiate. This is the day you officially die on paper. You enter the equivalent of the CIA's NOC, non-official cover protocol. You hand over your badge, your gun, your police ID, and your personal cell phone. The agency builds you a legend, their word for a meticulously crafted fake identity. Your new name is backed by a fake rap sheet, fake credit cards, and a fake history. You are given a terrifying briefing. You no longer have any official protection. If a regular patrol cop pulls you over and finds weight in your trunk, you cannot flash a badge. If you get caught by the cartel, the government will deny you exist. You will be prosecuted under local laws, or worse, executed by criminals. You have absolutely no backup. You take a deep breath and you step into the abyss. Level 6, the ghost resident. The smell of ammonia, burnt plastic, and rotting garbage fills your lungs. Welcome to your new home. You move into a decaying trap house in the worst part of the city to infiltrate a heavily armed local distribution ring. The intense, suffocating isolation begins. You are living your cover 24 hours a day. You have to surround yourself with violence, addiction, and filth. You learn how to convincingly fake smoking crack, or how to take tightly controlled hits of narcotics just to maintain your cover without overdosing. Like the paranoia is absolutely crippling. You sleep with one eye open and a stolen pistol under your mattress. One slip of the tongue in your sleep, one moment of hesitation, and you are a dead man. Your old life feels like a dream. Level 7, the mid-level Mule. You survive the trap house and earn the trust of the street bosses. You are promoted within the criminal organization. You are no longer dealing dime bags. You are moving real weight. You are driving kilos of cocaine hidden in the door panels of a rental car across state lines. The sweat pools on the steering wheel. If a state trooper pulls you over and runs the dogs, you are going to federal prison because you absolutely cannot blow your cover. You are completely, terrifyingly alone. You operate in a high-stakes void where the line between cop and criminal blurs violently. You find yourself instinctively hating the uniformed police cars you pass on the highway. You are becoming the very thing you swore to destroy. Level 8, the betrayer. You reach the psychological breaking point. You have successfully infiltrated the upper echelon of the organization. To get the wiretap evidence needed to bring down the cartel, you had to become the boss's best friend. You eat dinner at his mansion. You attend his wedding. You hold his newborn baby and smile for the camera. To survive, you must brutally compartmentalize the horrifying reality of what you are doing. You are going to send this man, who trusts you with his life, to a concrete box for the rest of his natural life. You are going to leave his child fatherless. The guilt of this profound, intimate betrayal eats away at your soul like acid. You wonder, staring in the mirror, if you're actually still one of the good guys. Level 9, the international buyer. You cross international borders to deal directly with the suppliers. You travel to a foreign country posing as a high-rolling American distributor. You step off a plane into a jurisdiction where you have zero diplomatic protection and zero authority. There is no tactical van around the corner. There is no wire. If the cartel suspects for a single second that you are federal law enforcement, there will be no trial. You will end up with a bullet in the back of the head and an unmarked grave. You sit at a table in the jungle surrounded by heavily armed sicarios, sipping tequila, projecting the arrogant swagger of a multi-millionaire drug trafficker while your heart screams in terror. Level 10, the Syndicate Launderer. You move away from the physical product and into the blood money, working to completely dismantle the financial structure of the cartel. You pose as a corrupt financial advisor. You manage millions of dollars in illicit cash. You live a billionaire's lifestyle. Expensive, tailored suits, private clubs, and luxury sports cars. But it is all a meticulously crafted, suffocating illusion. You sit in closed meetings where you provide the cartel with plausible deniability for their dirty funds. The paranoia shifts. You are no longer worried about street thugs with knives. You are watched by hyper-paranoid kingpins who will torture an accountant to death over a rounding error. You are washing the money that runs a machine built on secrets and blood. Level 11, the burned asset. And the nightmare scenario you have dreaded for 5 years finally happens. Your cover is blown. Maybe a local gangster found a tiny inconsistency in your legend. Or maybe a corrupt cop back in your home city sold your real name for a duffel bag of cash. You see the look in the lieutenant's eyes and you instantly know. The extraction is frantic, messy, and violent. You barely escape out a bathroom window as bullets tear through the drywall. You vanish into the night, but the damage is done. Like the cartel puts a multi-million-dollar bounty on your real head, your face is circulated to every hitman in the hemisphere. You can never, ever go back. Level 12, the task force commander. They pull you out of the fire for good. You are promoted to task force commander. You now sit in a secure, windowless office or an unmarked surveillance van, managing the next generation of deep cover officers. You are the handler now. You manage the wiretaps, the dead drops, and the encrypted messages. You listen through an earpiece as young, terrified cops risk their lives in the exact same trap houses you used to live in. You realize very quickly that the crushing stress of being responsible for their lives is infinitely heavier than wearing the wire yourself. When an operation goes sideways, it is your voice in their ear trying to keep them alive. Level 13, the broken legend. You finally retire. The agency gives you a small, private commendation in a closed room. Meet an award you can never display. Publicly, your career doesn't exist. You spent the last 20 years living as 10 different people, and now you don't actually know who you are. The intense isolation of living a fake life has permanently fractured your mind. You have a generous pension and a house in the suburbs, but you wake up screaming in the middle of the night, walking the perimeter of your property, looking for threats that aren't there. You cannot relate to normal civilians. You survived the underworld, but the legend you built slowly erased the person you used to be. Somewhere out there, a rookie cop is pinning on a shiny badge, dreaming of being a hero like Jason Bourne, completely unaware that this job will hollow them out and fill them back up with secrets. The vicious cycle begins again.